Huh? The whole world is more worthless in the sight of God than this dead goat is in your eyes. And the Quran tells you, you know what the similitude of the life of the world, the example of the life of the world? It's like the rain. It comes down from the sky, the earth absorbs it, the vegetation absorbs it, the crops grow, the sun comes down, and what do you find? Everyone delights. Look at that beautiful crop. I'm going to get the wheat now, and I'm going to get my fruit now. He's delighted. But the sun comes, and the sun dries it, and the wind blows and scatters it. That's the life. It's just coming and going, people. But we worship it. We worship this thing, this nothing, this dust. Oh, I said it. So people, this is the reality. But now we're told that no, this life is it. This life is the most important. But Islam says no, people, the life is a test to see whether you'll use this life. Well, if you've got money, will you use the money to give charity, to be kind to your relatives? Or will your heart be attached to it? Will your heart love it? It's a test. And if you're poor, what will you do? Run after money your whole life? Run? Or will you be content? And will you be patient and continue being grateful to God and continue worshipping God? That's the purpose of the life. But the life is short. It's 30 years, 40 years, and it's gone. Finished, and you're in your graves. So the Quran and Islam doesn't teach you to run after the world. It teaches you, hey, this world is nothing. Your peace and tranquility is in worshipping your Lord, in striving to be righteous, to be good, to be charitable, to be kind to your parents, to be good to your neighbor, to help the poor, to help the needy, to heal the sick, to help the traveler when they're on their way. And to fight and struggle and strive with your life and your money and your property to call people to that truth, that reality that will bring the real peace and tranquility in their hearts. So now imagine the Islamic society of people who are not dedicated to loving the world, to chasing after money, to chasing after the things of the world. No, are people who realize that they should be chasing after good deeds, after righteousness. And then in this context, Islam says, if someone steals, not because they're hungry, not because they need what they're stealing, but they steal out of greed, then their hand should be chopped off. It should be removed. Oh, very brutal and barbaric, you say. But listen, what have you got? What have you got? Your prison system? Remember? The university for thieves? Do you help the thief? Do you help the innocent people? You don't. But you know, I'll tell you something. I've been to Saudi Arabia 2 or 3 times. And I've seen it with my eyes. I've seen it with my eyes. And I'm not saying Saudi Arabia is a true Islamic state, but it has the laws, some of the laws of Islam. And without a doubt, Islam is very important there. And you find even on the TV, they have religious programs, a lot of religious programs, religious channels, religious radio stations. And Islam is important. Most of the people that go to the mosque, they pray 5 times a day. And there's a lot of Western influence there. But still, you know, this is a country that has its roots and still some of the laws of Islam. Now, I witnessed this with my eyes. And 40 years ago, people would say that you could go to Mecca and Medina, and when the call to prayer comes and the streets are deserted, everyone goes to pray, a man would take a cloth and cover his shop. He would just take a cloth and cover it. And this was even the gold. The gold. Can you imagine? Imagine from down there to here, all gold. Gold shops. And when the prayer, and he just takes a cloth and covers it. Can you imagine that in this country? But you see, we're talking about a way of life. The works that manifests itself practically. Yes, it's tough. Yes, it's hard. But is life just a game? Is life just a play? No, it's not, people. You see, and the reality is, okay, that we are responsible. You have to realize that you're not innocent. You're not innocent. You walk around here, go to the pub, go to the cinema. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm living in England. It's a nice democratic society. It's all okay. You've done nothing. But every time a child is kidnapped, every time a woman is raped, every time a thief goes back into society and steals, you are going to be held account for it. Because you are following a false way of life. You are following a false ideology. And you are supporting, even tacitly, even by remaining silent, even by failing to worship Allah and follow the way He revealed to you. You see, me, I hope I'll be relieved of responsibility, at least because I come here and try and tell you people, fear Allah, worship Allah, here's the solution, here's the way. I don't accept this state of affairs. There's a better way. I hope that I have an excuse. But what's your excuse? Huh? Oh, religion, Islam, women wearing veils. Huh? What a lot of rubbish. Primitive, barbaric. Who told you all of this? Who told you? Really, did you do your own research? Did you read the Quran? Did you read the saying of the Prophet Muhammad? Did you read the history of Islamic civilization? When we had lighting in the streets of Cordoba, lighting and baths in every street corner, and libraries in every street corner, like you have pubs, we had mosques and baths and libraries. Huh? And when you wanted to go and study, when you thought that having a bath more than once a year was an unwise thing to do, and Queen Elizabeth was considered a bit strange because she used to bath once a year, you came to our lands, the lands of the Muslims, to learn, to study, because that was the center of learning. You know what's so interesting? The Muslims have left Islam. The Muslims have left their religion. You go to Iraq, you go to Syria, you go to anywhere. You will say, okay, you'll see them going to the mosque. That's some of them. But the reality is you find in their hearts, in their lives, they've lost their religion. They've lost their religion. And the thing is, you find that when the Muslims turned away from their religion, their society and their civilization declined. But when the West turned away from Christianity, when the West turned away from its religion, that's when the West became successful. You see, in the West, you equate religion with medieval, barbaric, old-fashioned. But we in the Muslim world, we equate religion with civilization, with enlightenment, with science. Because that's our past. Your past is the medieval past. Your past is when you got found a witch, used to duck her in the thing and throw her in the pond, and if she floated up, then she was a witch. Of course she's going to float up. The poor woman's going to drown if she doesn't float up. Huh? So it's a no-win situation, right? The witch sinks to the bottom and drowns. Okay, that's okay. She wasn't a witch. It doesn't matter. Huh? You see, when your women, when you went on the Crusades, what did you put? Chastity belts on them, right? So with a poor woman, she's going to the loo and stuff. You find he came back, okay, he couldn't sleep with her anymore because she was all infected. There was nothing to sleep with anymore. Huh? Chastity belts. Huh? Your medieval ages, okay? Well, look at your medieval ages.